learners, in the previous lecture we covered laws of reflection, what are spherical mirrors, important terms related to spherical mirrors. Now we will proceed with the next topic of image formation by spherical mirrors. This is the most important topic of chapter light, reflection and refraction, as so many questions come from this section in exams. This topic seems difficult to students who are studying it for the first time. That's why this audio video is made in such a way that you will never forget the concepts explained in here, and you will be able to solve all types of questions related to the topic, as well as it will become handy for you to use all the formulas like mirror formula and magnification given on the topic in any type of question asked. Now let's see how image is formed by spherical mirror. But before that, let's do a quick recap. We have already studied about the image of plane mirror, like images formed by plane mirror. Let's take a look at that again. Images formed by plane mirrors are virtual and erect. What is the meaning of virtual? Virtual means that the image is formed behind the mirror. So this is the mirror, here we have the mirror, and the image is formed behind the mirror, not in front of the mirror. We will see in this video how some mirrors also form real images. So the opposite of virtual is real. Some mirrors also form real images. We will see that in this video. And the image formed by plane mirror is also erect. Erect means that, look here, the image is in this position, the object is in this position, the image is also in this position. It is not inverted. The opposite of erect is inverted. Inverted means the tree would be in this direction. Okay, so we will also see that how some spherical mirrors form inverted images. So the image formed by plane mirror is virtual and erect. Second is of the same size as of the object. So the object is of this height h0. The image is also of the same height. The height of object and image is same. So whenever you stand in front of a plane mirror that you have at your home, you will see that the height of your image is also the same as height of you. So it's exactly the same. And the third point is that at the same distance from the mirror as the object is in front of it. That means if the object, suppose there is a plane mirror and the object is at 2 meters in front of the mirror, then the image will also be 2 meters behind the mirror. So the distance of the object and the mirror is same. Last is, it is laterally inverted. The image is laterally inverted. That means that the left appears to be the right and the right appears to be the left. Okay. Now we will explore the nature, position and size of the image formed by a concave mirror. It depends on the position of the object in relation to points P, which is pole, F, which is focus, and C, which is center of curvature. Don't worry, we are going to study what these points are. But before explaining all this to you, let's see what type of images are going to be formed by spherical mirrors. So spherical mirrors, they form real images for some positions of the object. Okay, for some positions of the object in front of the mirror, they form real images. What are real images? We will study, don't worry. Next is, they also form virtual image for a certain other positions. For other positions, they form virtual images, and the image is either magnified, reduced or has the same size depending upon the object position. Okay, so the image form can be magnified, can be larger in size as compared to the object. It can be reduced or diminished, that means it can be smaller as compared to the object, or it can have the same size as the object. It all depends upon the object position. That means, suppose if this is the mirror, then the position of the object, suppose the object is at this position or at this position, depending on the position in front of the mirror, the size of the image will change. Okay, and to give you an idea of position of images and objects, see this table. stop the video and you can take screenshot of it, as this information is really important, as questions are being asked from this particular table in exams in the form of MCQs mostly. So what this table says is that we have taken the image formation by concave mirrors for different positions of the object. That means we have taken concave mirror, suppose this is a mirror, and we are keeping the object at different positions in front of the mirror. Okay, we are changing the position of the object in front of the mirror, and we have summarized where will be the position of the image regarding the position of the object. For example, if the object is at infinity, then the image will be formed at the focus, and the size of the image will be highly diminished, and the nature of the image will be real and inverted. So this is compact information. This table provides you the compact information of the image formation by concave mirrors. Second is, if the object is beyond C, that it is beyond center of curvature, then the image will be formed between F and C, and it will be diminished and real and inverted. So this table is really important. You should keep a copy of it with yourself. Now let's see the representation of images formed by spherical mirrors using ray diagrams. So for studying ray diagrams, we should consider an extended object of finite size placed in front of a spherical mirror. Each small portion of the extended object acts like a point source. An infinite number of rays originate from these points. To construct the ray diagram, in order to locate the image of an object, an arbitrarily large number of rays emanating from a point could be considered. However, it is more convenient to consider only two rays for the sake of clarity of the ray diagrams. These rays are so chosen that it is easy to know their direction after reflection from mirror. So let's discuss the rays of light which we are going to use in our ray diagrams. So the first one is that in a concave mirror, a ray of light parallel to the principal axis after reflection passes through the focus. What this means is that, so we have taken a ray of light, this is the ray of light, and it is parallel to the principal axis. This is the principal axis, and these both are parallel to each other. So this ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis after reflection from the mirror, this is our concave mirror. So after reflection from the mirror, it passes through the focus. You can see here, okay, after reflecting from here at this point, it is reflecting from the mirror, and after reflecting from the mirror, it passes through the focus. This is the focus. Here is another ray of light. This is another ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis, and after reflecting here, it is reflecting. After reflecting from the mirror, it passes through the focus. It passes through the focus. So whenever we have a ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis, in case of concave mirror, after reflection, it will pass from the focus. And the next is, in a convex mirror, a ray of light parallel to the principal axis after reflection appears to diverge from the focus. What does this mean? Appears to diverge from the focus. So here we have two rays of light. Both are parallel to the principal axis. This is our principal axis. This is our principal axis. So both of these rays 1 and 2 are parallel to the principal axis. So after reflection, here these are reflecting from the mirror. So after reflection, ray 1 moves in this direction and ray 2 moves in this direction. But look here, it appears as both of these rays are emerging or diverging from this point focus. It appears as both of these rays are coming out from this point focus. Okay, that is the meaning of appears to diverge from the focus. So whenever we are going to draw convex mirror and we are going to draw a ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis in case of convex mirror, what we are going to draw is, we are going to draw that ray of light as it is diverging from the focus. So let me see if I can show you an example. So I have taken a mirror here. Okay, so I can take an ray of light. Okay, so the second ray which we are going to choose is that in a concave mirror, a ray of light passing through the focus after reflection goes parallel to the principal axis. Okay, so what it says that if we have a ray of light which is passing through the focus, so we have seen an object here, we have taken an object here. Okay, so a ray of light is coming out from the top of the object and the ray of light is passing through the focus. So this is the focus and the ray of light is passing through the focus, and at this point it is reflecting from the concave mirror. So after reflection it will move parallel to the principal axis. This is the principal axis and this ray will move parallel to the principal axis. It is easy. Okay. So the second is, in a convex mirror, a ray of light directed towards the focus after reflection goes parallel to the principal axis. So I think you are aware of this fact that the principal focus or the focus is, in case of convex mirror, is behind the mirror. It is behind the mirror. The focus is behind the mirror in case of a convex mirror. So a ray of light cannot pass from focus because it is behind the mirror, but it can, appear to pass. It can appear to pass from the focus, or it is directed towards the focus. What it says is that suppose we have this object and a ray of light is coming from this object, and it appears that this ray of light, if it can go through the mirror, it will pass from the focus. It will pass through the focus. It appears that this ray of light will pass through the focus, and after reflection this kind of ray of light will move parallel to the principal axis. I hope I am clear in this point, because convex mirror can be a bit tricky as focus and center of curvature are behind the mirror in case of convex mirror. So I am going to draw this separately also so that it becomes clear to you. So this is the principal axis, and now I am going to draw the convex mirror. So this is the convex mirror. Now say this is the focus. Okay, so this is the focus and I have an object here. This is the object. Okay, and a ray of light is coming from this object such that it appears that the ray of light will pass through the focus. It appears that it will pass through the focus, but it can't pass through the focus because the focus is behind the mirror. Okay, so the ray of light is coming and it appears it passed through the focus, but it will reflect from this point. Okay, so after reflecting from this point, it will become parallel to the principal axis. After reflecting from that point, the light ray will move in this direction parallel to the principal axis. Okay, you can see that this ray of light is parallel to the principal axis. Okay, so the third ray that we are going to take is that in a concave mirror, a ray of light passing through the center of curvature after reflection is reflected back along the same direction. What it says here is, if we have a ray of light which is passing through the center of curvature, so the ray of light is going through the center of curvature, then after reflection, it is reflecting at this point. So after reflection from the mirror, it is reflected back along the same direction. So it will get reflected back in the same direction. Okay. So the next is, in a convex mirror, a ray of light directed towards the center of curvature after reflection is reflected back along the same line. So what happens in the convex mirror is that a ray of light which is directed towards the center of curvature, that means it is going towards the center of curvature. So the center of curvature in a convex mirror is behind the mirror. So it can't actually go through the center of curvature, but it looks like that it is going towards the center of curvature. Okay. So what it means is, if I can draw it, so I'm going to draw it here. So we have this principal axis and now I'm going to draw the mirror. So this is the convex mirror. Okay. So suppose this is the center of curvature and we have an object, say here is an object, and from the top of this object a ray of light is coming. a ray of light is emerging from the top of this object, and it appears like that ray of light is moving towards the center of curvature. It is moving towards the center of curvature. So what will happen after reflection? So the reflection will happen at this point. So the ray of light starts from here, it will move till there. This part is actually not happening. It's just to show you that this ray of light is moving towards the center of curvature. So this ray of light will reflect from this point, and after reflection what it will do is that it will be reflected back along the same direction. It will be reflected back along the same direction. Okay, so in case of convex mirror, a ray of light which is directed towards the center of curvature will be reflected back along the same direction. Okay, so the last point is, in a concave or a convex mirror, a ray of light directed obliquely at a pole is reflected obliquely, making equal angles with the principal axis. Which means is that, suppose, firstly let's look at the concave mirror. So there is a ray of light which is incident on the mirror at an angle. It is making an angle with the mirror. So there is angle I between the incident ray and the principal axis. Is the principal axis, and the angle is I. So after reflection it will make the same angle, which means that angle I is equals to angle R. Okay, so similarly in convex mirror, so there is a ray of light and it is incident on the mirror at some angle, at certain angle. So after reflection it is making angle R, and the angle I is equals to angle R. Okay, so remember, this is important, that in all the above cases the laws of reflection are followed. At the point of incidence, the incident ray is reflected in such a way that the angle of reflection is equals to the angle of incidence, which I just told you now. So next is image formation by concave mirror by placing the object at different positions. So we are going to use ray diagrams to study the image formation by concave mirror. And I am not going to draw the ray diagram by my own. You are also going to draw them with me, because I am 100% sure that if you are going to do them along with me, that you won't have to remember any of these ray diagrams. You will be able to do them on your own, because practice makes a man or a woman perfect. So by practicing them along with me, you will be able to draw these diagrams by yourself. You won't have to remember anything, and these diagrams will be a piece of cake for you. I'm sure about that. So the things that you are going to need to draw the ray diagram: 1, ruler; 2, a pencil; and 3rd is a compass. So if you don't have a compass with you right now, what you can do is you can do them roughly. You can draw them roughly. That's fine. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so the first thing that you are going to do is draw a line. Just draw a line. Okay, so next you're going to do is, from this point, mark a point somewhere on the line at some distance. Fix the distance by yourself. You can draw it after 4 cm, at 5 cm, that's your wish. So draw a point from this to somewhere on the line. Okay, so mark that as your focus. That is your focus. Now from focus, again draw a point at the exact distance. Okay, so say this is the point and you have drawn it again at 4 centimeters. So this point is your center of curvature. Okay, because center of curvature is at equal distance from the focus as focus is from the pole. This is the pole. Okay, so next thing you have to do is put your compass at point C, the pointed end at point C, and the pencil on the point P. Okay, so the pointed end at point C and the pencil part on point P, and draw a semicircle here. So draw a semicircle here. Okay, so now your basic image is ready. Now we are going to draw ray diagrams on this image. Okay, Now before beginning with the first case, let's revise the 4 different types of rays that we studied in case of concave mirror. The first was that a ray which is parallel to the principal axis, after reflection will pass from the focus. This was the first case that we studied. Okay. So the second was that a ray which passes through the principal focus or the focus after reflection will become parallel to the principal axis. This was the second case that we studied. The third case we studied was that a ray of light, let me use a different color, that a ray of light which passes through center of curvature after reflection reverses its direction. Okay, so what happens here is that a ray of light which passed through center of curvature after reflection will come back, and the ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis after reflection moves through the focus, and the ray of light which was passing through the focus after reflection will become parallel to the principal axis. And the fourth case that we did was a ray of light which is incident at the pole at some angle will be reflected back at the same angle. So that angle was same. So it was incident at some angle, after reflection it will be reflected at the same angle. So these were the 4 cases that we studied, and we are going to use any 2 cases out of these 4 cases when we are going to study different cases of concave mirror. Okay, we are going to choose any 2 out of these 4. Okay, so let's begin with our first case. Okay, the first case is when object is at infinity. So the first step in drawing ray diagram is to draw the object. But in this case, the object is at infinity. So how are you going to draw an object which is at infinity? So the one thing that to remember here is that when the object is at infinity, the light rays coming from the object are parallel to the principal axis. So the light rays coming from an object at infinity are always parallel to the principal axis. So as I told you before that out of the 4 cases we have to choose any 2 cases. So here our first case that I am going to choose is that a ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis. Okay, so let's draw it. So the first ray that I have chosen here is the ray of light that is parallel to the principal axis, because the light rays that come from the object at infinity are always parallel to the principal axis. So now guess where will this light ray move after reflection? Yes, after reflection it will pass through the focus, because we studied that when the ray of light, okay, it's not passing through the focus, but it's okay. So when a ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis after reflection, it passes through the focus. Okay, so let's draw the arrows. Okay, so I can take another ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis. I can do that. Okay, so after reflection it will pass through the focus. Now I am choosing the focus to be here because it shifted the first time. Okay, so this is the focus. Okay, so the ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis after reflection will pass through the focus. Okay, so the image will be formed at the point where these 2 rays of light join. That means the image will be formed at this point. So where is the image formed? The image is formed at the focus, as you can see here, and it is highly diminished, means its size is very small. It's point sized. You can see here, it's point sized, it's real and inverted. All the images that are formed in front of the mirror. So this is the mirror. Okay, so this is behind the mirror. This is front of the mirror. all the images that are formed in front of the mirror are real and they are inverted. Inverted you will see just in few minutes the case of inverted. Okay. So it was so easy, right? You just have to choose two rays of light and then you will follow the rules of those rays of light and you will get your image. So here is an image of the case we just did. When the object is at infinity, image is formed at the focus, you can see here. And you can see here that the light rays which are coming from the object are parallel to the principal axis. Okay. So let's do the second case, which is when object is beyond C. Okay. So I am going to roughly draw my focus and my center of curvature here. So it says the object is beyond C. So let's first of all draw our object. Always draw the object first. So this is our, let's say this is our object. Okay, done. So this is our object. Okay, so it is placed beyond C. So we are placing it beyond C. Now what's the next step? The next step is you have to choose two rays that are coming out from the top of this object. Two rays, any two cases out of the four cases we just did. Okay, so I am going to choose the case, the first case that I am going to choose is that the ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis. So let's just draw it. So a ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis. I am going to draw that ray. Okay. So the second that I am going to draw is the one, the ray of light that passes through focus. Okay, that is the second one that I am going to choose here. You can choose anyone. You can also choose the ray of light which passes through the center of curvature. You can choose that one also. You can choose anyone. Okay. So next what I am going to do is I am going to draw the reflected rays. These were the incident rays. Okay, I chose two rays. Now I am going to draw the reflected rays. So let's do that with different color. Okay. So the ray which was parallel to the principal axis, after reflection what will it do? It will pass through the focus. That is what we studied. It will pass through the focus, and the ray of light which passes through the focus after reflection, what will happen? It will become parallel to the principal axis. Okay, so that is what we studied before. It will become parallel to the principal axis. Okay, let's mark the direction. This is the direction for this one. This is the direction for this one. Okay, so now what happened? These two rays after reflection are joining at this point. They are meeting at this point. So this is the point where the image will be formed. Okay, this is the point where image will be formed. So let's form the image. Let's draw the image. So the image will be formed here. Okay, the image will be formed here. It will be inverted. It will be inverted. Okay, so we have found the position of our image, which is between C and F. As you can see here, it is between C and F. Correct? It is diminished. See, the height of the object is this, and as you can see, the image is smaller as compared to the object. So it is diminished, and it is real and inverted because it is formed before, in front of the mirror. It was so easy to do this. Okay, so you just have to draw the object first, then you have to choose any two rays, and then where those rays meet after reflection, you have to that is your position of the image. Okay, here is an image of a case we just did when the object is beyond C. So you can see here the object is placed beyond C and the image is formed. A dash B dash is the image which is formed between C and F, and the image is smaller as compared to the object. You can see here the object is bigger as compared to the image, and it is real and inverted. Okay, so here we have taken three cases. Okay, so the first case is that the ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis after reflection will pass from the focus. The second case is that a ray of light which passes through the center of curvature after reflection will reverse in the same direction, will move back in the same direction. And the third case is that a ray of light which is incident on the mirror at some angle will be reflected by the same angle. And these three reflected rays, this one, and this one, they all meet at this point. So this point, the image is formed at this point. Okay. So next is when the object is at C. So this case you are going to do by yourself. I think we have done enough practice that you can try one case by yourself. So I am just going to tell you how it is done if you are not able to do it, but first you should pause the video and try to do it by yourself. Okay, and if you are not able to do it, then you can start the video and you can watch how it is done. Okay, so the object is this A, B, this is the object. It is placed at point C. We are going to take two rays here. The first ray that we have taken is the ray which is parallel to the principal axis. This ray after reflection will pass from the focus, right? And the second ray we have taken is the ray which passes through the focus, and after reflection it will become parallel to the principal axis. Now both these rays, this one and this one, after reflection meet at this point. So the image will be formed at this point. So the image is A dash, B dash, and as you can see, the image is formed at point C. The image is formed at C, and it is the same size as the object. AB is equals to A dash, B dash, and it is real and inverted because it is formed in front of the mirror. Okay, so the fourth case is when the object is between C and F. So let's draw the C, the F and the C. Okay, the first step is to draw the object. So we are going to draw the object. So this is my object here. Okay, so the second step is to draw two rays of our choice. The first ray that I am going to draw is the one which is parallel to the principal axis. So this ray after reflection will pass through the focus. The second ray that I am going to choose is the one which is passing through the focus, and after reflection it will become parallel to the principal axis. So let's mark their directions. These are their directions. Okay, so as you can see here that these reflected rays after reflection they are meeting at this point. This is the point where the image will be formed. Okay, so let's draw our image. So this is our image. Okay, so where is the image formed? It is beyond C, it is behind C, correct? It is enlarged. You can see here the size of the image is bigger as compared to size of the object. And it is real and inverted because it is formed in front of the mirror. So it's so easy. You just have to follow three steps and you can form image. So here we have an image of the case we just did. Here the object is placed between C and F. The object is here AB, and the image is formed beyond C. We have again taken the similar cases of rays. The ray which is parallel to the principal axis after reflection passes through the focus, and the ray which passes through the focus after reflection becomes parallel to the principal axis, and they meet at this point. So it's so easier to draw any ray diagram to find the position of any image if you just follow three steps. The first step is to draw the object. The second step is to choose any two rays. You can choose any two rays of your choice, draw them. The third is to look at the reflected rays and to see the point where they are meeting, and at that point we will find the position of our image. So next is case 5, when the object is at F, which means it is at focus. So now what you are going to do is that you are going to pause the video and try this one by yourself. It will help you to strengthen the concept that we have studied so far, and you will be able to identify your weak points, which you can then cover in the remaining video. So pause the video and try it by yourself. So if you have tried by yourself, let's see how it is done. So here I have an image of this case. Here the object is placed at focus. So we have taken two rays. The first ray here is parallel to the principal axis, and after reflection at this point, it passes through the focus. That we know it happens. The second one is the ray which actually passes through the center of curvature. So after reflection, it reverses its path, it reverses its direction, and it again passes through the center of curvature. So these two rays are the reflected rays. So these reflected rays are actually parallel to each other. You can see that they are parallel to each other. Parallel rays or parallel lines do not meet. So where will the image form? Because for the image to be formed, the reflected rays have to meet at some point. So actually in this case, the parallel rays, they meet at infinity. Parallel lines, they meet at infinity. So image is formed at infinity, and it is highly enlarged, and it is real and inverted. It is real and inverted because it is formed in front of the mirror. Okay. So the next is sixth case, when the object is between F and P. So this is the last case for concave mirrors. There are total 6 cases of image formation in concave mirrors that we are going to do in this video, and this is the last one. So you can try this one by yourself as well, but it is a bit different. So if you are facing any issue, definitely start the video, watch the video. So let's begin. So here let me mark the focus and the center of curvature first, because that's the first step. We need to know where is the focus and the center of curvature. Okay, so let's draw our object as well, because the first step is always to draw the object. Okay, so we have our object here. Next we are going to draw our two rays. Okay, so the first ray that I am going to choose is the one which is parallel to the principal axis, and after reflection it passes through the focus. And the second one that I am going to choose is the one which is actually passes through a center of curvature, and after reflection it reverses its path, right? So let's mark the direction. This ray starts from here, goes in this direction, then gets reflected, now moving in this direction. So the second ray starts from here, goes in this direction, then gets reflected back and moves in this direction. So these are our reflected rays. So these reflected rays are actually diverging. They're diverging means they're never going to meet. They're going to go, in this direction like this, and they're never going to meet at any point. So where will be the image formed? If they're never going to meet, then where will be the image formed? Because for the image to be formed, the reflected rays have to meet at some point. So in this case, what we are going to do is we are going to extend our lines. Our reflected rays we are going to extend in this direction in a straight line. Okay, just pay attention that it is a straight line. Keep them straight. So you can see here that these rays are meeting at this point. They're actually not meeting at this point. These rays appear to meet at this point because they're actually reflected from this mirror now. So they can't meet at this point. So they appear to meet at this point. So this is our point of image. Our image will be formed at this point. Let me extend my principal axis as well. Okay, so the image is formed at this point. This is my image. Okay, so the image is formed behind the mirror. Okay, it is enlarged, you can see it is bigger as compared to the object. It is virtual and erect. It is virtual because it is formed behind the mirror. It is erect, you can see here. It is in the same direction as the object. It is not inverted. So the image is virtual and erect, and the image which is formed behind the mirror is always virtual. It is always virtual, and virtual image is always erect. Okay, virtual image is always erect. Same is the case in plane mirror. Whenever you look at yourself in a mirror, you see that your image is erect. It is not inverted. You don't appear inverted in a plane mirror because the image formed in a plane mirror is virtual. That is why it is erect. Okay. So this is the last case for concave mirror. Let's look at the image of this case when the object is between F and P. So the object is between F and P is here somewhere. So we have again taken the same two rays. Okay, the one which is parallel to the principal axis, the other one which passes through the center of the curvature. An image is formed behind the mirror. It is enlarged, virtual and erect. So now what you have to do is you have to practice these 6 cases because these are very important cases. Questions come from this topic, and practice on your own. Try to draw these ray diagrams on your own, and after you are perfect in this, after you're confident in concave mirror, then move to the convex mirror. Okay. So now moving on to the convex mirror, the next topic is image formation by convex mirror, placing object at 2 different positions. So in convex mirror we have only 2 cases. So the first one is when object is at infinity, like the object is very far away. So as I told you before, when the object is at infinity, the rays coming from the object are parallel to the principal axis. I have already told you in the first case that we did in case of concave mirror. Okay. So when the object is at infinity, then the rays coming from that object are parallel to the principal axis. So let's draw the rays from the object. So these are the rays that are coming from the object at infinity. I forgot to draw the focus and the center of curvature, which I told you that it is very important to draw them beforehand. So the focus and the center of curvature in case of convex mirror are actually behind the mirror. Those are actually behind the mirror. So let's say the focus is here somewhere and the center of curvature is here somewhere. So the parallel rays of light that are coming from the object at infinity, in case of convex mirror, if you remember, they actually diverge. The rays actually diverge after reflection, but they diverge in such a way, the rays actually diverge, but the rays diverge in such a way that they appear to be coming out from the focus. The rays appear in such a way that they appear to be coming from the focus. So actually here what is happening, don't get confused. If this is the mirror, the parallel ray is actually coming from this side. It's reflecting the mirror at this point and it is reflecting like this. But it appears to be coming from the focus. It appears like it is coming from the focus. It is actually not coming from the focus, but it appears like that. Okay. So these are our reflected ray, this is our reflected ray, this is our reflected ray. So these appear to meet at the focus. It appears like these are meeting at the focus. These are not actually meeting at the focus because this is behind the mirror. So these appear to meet at the focus and they are never going to meet on this side. These rays, this ray and this ray are never going to meet at this side because these are diverging. One is going in this direction, the other one is going in this direction. They are never going to meet in this side, but these appear to meet at the focus. So the image is formed at focus behind the mirror. So the image is formed at this point and you can see the size of the image. It's so small. It is highly diminished. It is virtual and erect. How it is erect? You can't see here that it is erect. But because it is virtual, why is it virtual? It is virtual because it is formed behind the mirror. So because it is formed behind the mirror, therefore it is virtual and therefore it is erect. Okay, so this case is done. It was so easy peasy, it's done. Okay, so let's see the image for this case when the object is at infinity. So again, when the object is at infinity, the rays are parallel to the principal axis. After reflection, these rays are diverging in this direction, but they appear to be coming from the focus. They appear to be meeting at the focus. So the image is formed at F behind the mirror. It is highly diminished, highly smaller in size, virtual and erect. So the second case in convex mirror is when the object is between infinity and pole. The first case when object is at infinity. The second is when the object is between pole. This is the pole, and infinity means anywhere in this direction, anywhere from pole to infinity when the object is placed there. So in the case of convex mirror, we don't have the different cases of between focus and center of curvature when the object is between beyond center of curvature, when the object is at center of curvature. We don't have those cases in convex mirror. We only have two cases, when the object is at infinity and when the object is between infinity and the pole. So only two these cases we have in convex mirror. So let's first of all mark the focus and the center of curvature. Okay, so let's draw the object. So you can draw the object anywhere between pole and the infinity. That means anywhere in this direction. Okay, so this is our object. So now we have to take two rays as usual. So the first ray that I am going to take is the one which is parallel to the principal axis, and after reflection it diverges and it appears to be passing through the focus. It appears to be passing through the focus. This is the first ray that I am going to take. The second ray I am going to take is the one which appears to pass through the center of curvature, and after reflection it is reflected back in the same direction. It reverses its direction. Okay, so the first one that I have taken is the one which is parallel to the principal axis. After reflection it diverges and it appears to be passing through the focus. The second one is the one which appears to be passing through the center of curvature, and after reflection it reverses its direction. Okay, so two reflected rays are this one and this one, and these again will not meet in front of the mirror. They will not meet in front of the mirror. Now because they will not meet in front of the image, in front of the mirror, image will not be formed in front of the mirror. Where is the image formed? Behind the mirror at this point. At this point the reflected rays appear to meet. So this is the point where image will be formed. So the image will be formed at this point. Okay, so this is the point where the image will be formed. Okay, so the image is formed behind the mirror, right? Behind the mirror. It is diminished. It is smaller in size as compared to the object. The object is bigger, the image is smaller. It is virtual and direct because it is formed behind the mirror. So this concludes our convex mirror. Let's check the image of this case when the object is between infinity and the pole. So here is our object. Okay, so we have here taken two rays. The first one that we have taken is the one which appears to pass through the center of curvature and reflected back in the same direction. The second one here is which is incident at some angle. It is incident at some angle. So it is reflected through the same angle. So these appear to meet at this point. So this is the point where the image will be formed. It is formed behind the mirror and it is diminished, virtual and erect. Okay, so let's do a quick recap of concave mirrors and convex mirrors image formation. Okay, so the first one is when object is placed at infinity, the image is obtained at focus, right? Second is when the object is beyond C. So here what we are doing is we are bringing the object from infinity closer to the mirror. In this case it was at infinity, in this case it is beyond C, in this case it is at C, in this case it is between C and F, and in this case it has reached F, and in this case the object is between F and P. So we are bringing the object closer to the mirror, and then we are noticing the position of the image and the size of the image, how the size and the position of the image is changing. Okay, that is where we are going to observe here now. So when the object was at infinity, the image was at focus and it was diminished size, it was very small. Now when the object is beyond C, okay, so we have moved it from infinity to beyond C, then now the image is between C and F, so the image is moving in this direction. When the object is moving in this direction, the image is moving in this direction, and the size of image is also increased. Here it was point sized, here it has gained some size. Okay, so when now the object is at C, so the image is also at C and it is of the same size as the object. Now next we have moved the object between C and F. Now when the object is between C and F, now the image is beyond C. Okay, and as the object is moving in this direction, the image is moving in opposite direction. Okay, so in this case, when the object is now at focus, the image is at infinity. Now the image is at infinity. In this case, the object was at infinity and the image was at focus. Now the object is at focus and the image is formed at infinity. So in this case, when the object is between focus and pole, now the image is behind the mirror and the size has increased. So I hope it is clear from this recap, from this revision, that as the object is moving towards the mirror, its image is moving away from the mirror and its size is increasing. So if I have to do a quick diagram here, so as the object is moving in this direction, the image is moving in the opposite direction. As when the object was beyond C, the image was between C and F. When the object was at C, the image was at C. When the object was between C and F, the image was after C. When the object was at focus, the image was at infinity, and when the object was between F and P, the image was behind the mirror. So these are the different cases that we just studied, and just remember this table. We have seen this table at the beginning of this video and I have provided it again here because it provides a short note of all the cases that we just did. Okay, so let's do a quick recap of image formation in convex mirror. In convex mirror, we just have two cases. The first one is when the object is placed at infinity. When the object is placed at infinity, the image is formed at the focus. And the second is when the object is placed anywhere between infinity to pole, then the image is formed between the pole and the focus and the image is diminished. Okay, so the image is diminished. Although the image formed in this case is erect, it is not inverted, but it is diminished. So just keep this in mind. It will be helpful in understanding the uses of concave and convex mirror. Okay. Till now, we understood all types of image formation by spherical mirrors. It's time to see how we can actually use this mirror. So first of all, we will see the uses of concave mirrors. So there are multiple uses of concave mirror. The first one is concave mirrors are used in torches, searchlights and headlights of vehicles to get parallel beams of light. Parallel beams of light are more stronger. It means it won't disperse. So the parallel beams of light can be obtained with the help of concave mirrors. Now you may be wondering how this is going to happen. So just look at this table. This table is going to help you a lot. Look at this case. When the object is placed at focus, the image is formed at infinity. And how was the image formed at infinity? If you remember, in this case, the reflected rays were parallel. So that means using concave mirror, we can convert the rays incident on the concave mirror into parallel rays. We can do that. Okay, so using this case, we can form parallel beams of light in torches, searchlights and headlights of vehicles. Now the second one is their uses shaving mirrors to see larger image of the face. When a person needs to shave, they need to see the larger image of the face. So that can be done with the help of concave mirrors. Now look here. In these three cases, we are getting an enlarged image. We are getting a large image. So we can use which out of these three cases, which case we can use? We can't use this case, we can't use this case because the image will be inverted. So that when the person will try to look at himself, then the image will be inverted. It will be difficult to shave in an inverted image. So this case will be used because the image will be erect and enlarged. So the person will be able to shave comfortably. So the next one is they are used by dentists to see larger images of the teeth. Now the dentists need to look at the teeth and they need to see the large images of the teeth. So again this case will be used when the size of the image is enlarged. Okay. So the last case here is large concave mirrors are used to concentrate sunlight to produce heat in solar furnaces. That means we can use concave mirrors to produce heat. How is that going to happen? So look at the first case here. When the object is at infinity, when the object is placed at infinity, now the sun is very, very far away. So we can consider that the sun is at infinity. Then using concave mirrors, we can focus the image at a point which is focus. Okay, we can focus all the heat of the sun at a point that is focus. So this is the case which helps us to produce heat in solar furnaces. So next is uses of convex mirrors. So convex mirrors are used as rear view mirrors in vehicles. So all of you must have seen rear view mirrors in vehicles like cars and bikes. So it is important for the mirrors used in rear view mirrors to form erect images. So just imagine that the car which is coming behind your car or the truck which is coming behind your car is inverted. So it would cause a lot of issues. So it is important that the mirrors that we are using as rear view mirrors form erect images and convex mirrors form erect images. And the second is, now again imagine that the car which is coming behind your car is double its size in your mirror. It's looking double its size in your rear view mirror. Again it would cause a lot of issues. So it is important that the mirror that we are using as rear view mirrors should form diminished image. And erect and diminished images are formed by convex mirrors. So they are used as rear view mirrors in vehicles, and convex mirrors give erect diminished images of the object, and they also have a wider field of view than plane mirrors. Now let's see a very important concept of new Cartesian sign convention for spherical mirrors. So when we are going to use mirror formula or magnification formula to solve numericals or practical problems, these sign conventions are used. The first sign convention is that the object is always placed on the left of the mirror and light from the object falls from left to right. The second one is all distances parallel to the principal axis are measured from the pole. The third is all distances measured to the right of the pole are taken as positive. And the fourth is all distances measured to the left of the pole are taken as negative. And the fifth is the height measured upwards perpendicular to the principal axis is taken as positive, and the last one is the height measured downwards perpendicular to the principal axis is taken as negative. Now let's see what these sign conventions actually mean. The first one says that the object is always placed on the left of the mirror. As you can see here, the object is always placed on the left. This is the left side, on the left side of the mirror. And the light from the object falls from left to right. Now the object, the incident light which is coming from the object, it always falls from the left to the right. Like it's moving from the left to the right, direction of the incident light. Okay. So the second one is all distances parallel to the principal axis are measured from the pole. All the distances which are parallel to the principal axis, such as the distance of the object, the distance of the image, all these distances are measured from the pole. Okay. The third one is all distances measured to the right of the pole are taken as positive. All the distances which will be from pole to anywhere in this direction, this distance will be taken as positive. And the fourth one says all distances measured to the left of the pole are taken as negative. So these distances, like the distance from the pole to this point P, will be taken as negative. All the distances to the left of the mirror are taken as negative. All the distances to the right of the mirror will be taken as positive. Okay. And fifth one says the height measured upwards perpendicular to the principal axis is taken as positive. All the height which will be measured upwards, like the height of this object, will be taken as positive. And the last one says that the height measured downwards perpendicular to the principal axis is taken as negative. The height which will be measured downwards will be taken as negative. So we are going to use 6 sign conventions when we are going to do numericals. Now let's take a look into mirror formula and magnification. So first of all, we are going to learn about mirror formula in a spherical mirror. The distance of the object from its pole is called the object distance and it is denoted with U. The distance of the image from the pole of the mirror is called the image distance and it is denoted with V. As you already know, the distance of the principal focus from the pole is called its focal length, denoted with F. Now there is a relationship between these three quantities given by the mirror formula, which is expressed as 1 by F is equals to 1 by V plus 1 by U. Now this is a very important formula, you should note it down. A spherical mirror's magnification is given as the relative extent to which an object's image is magnified in relation to the object size. It is expressed as the ratio of image's height h dash to the object's height h. It is commonly symbolized by the letter m. So if h is the height of the object, h is the height of the object and h dash is the height of the image, then magnification is given as h dash upon h. Okay. The magnification m is also related to the object distance u and image distance v. It can be expressed as m is equals to h dash upon h is equals to minus v by u. This is an important relationship between the height of the object, height of the image distance and object distance. You will see that the height of the object is assumed to be positive because it is normally placed above the principal axis. For virtual images, the image height should be considered positive. However, it should be seen as negative for real images. A negative sign in the magnification value implies that the image is real. A positive sign in the magnification value implies that the image is virtual. Now let's solve a question now which is based on the same formula, that is mirror formula and magnification. So the question is, an object of size 7.0 cm is placed as 27 cm in front of a concave mirror of focal length 18 cm. At what distance from the mirror should a screen be placed so that a sharp focused image can be obtained? Find the size and the nature of the image. So in these questions, first of all, write down everything that is given. Write down everything that is given, such as the size of the image is given, that means h naught is given. It is to be taken positive because the object is usually taken in upward direction. So upward direction is positive direction. Is placed at 27 cm in front of the concave mirror. So it is placed at 27 cm in front of the concave mirror means it is u. This is the distance of the object from the mirror. So u is minus 27 centimeters. Why minus? Because we discussed that the objects are placed on the left side of the mirror, and the left side is negative. The left side is negative. That is why u is negative. And focal length of the concave mirror is also negative because focal length of the focus of the concave mirror is on the left side. It is on the left side. So concave mirror always have concave mirror always have negative focal length. Negative focal length. In convex mirror, remember this is very important. Convex mirror always have positive focal length. Okay, so we have written everything that is given to us, and we have also written the correct sign invention. At what distance from the image mirror should a screen be placed? So we need to find the image distance. We need to find V, because V is the image distance. So we can use the mirror formula. The mirror formula is 1 by U plus 1 by V is equals to 1 by F. We know U, we know F. We will substitute those values here and we can find the value of V, which is minus 54 centimeter. Now what is the meaning of minus here? Minus means the image is also located on the left side of the mirror, because the left side is the negative side, the right side is the positive side. So negative sign here indicates that the image is also on the left side of the mirror. I hope this is clear to you. So next here, it is also important for you to draw the image of the question that is given to you, even if it is not asked in the question, because it helps you to understand the question. Okay, like look here, we are given the object, we have drawn the object AB. It is on the left side of the mirror. Because it is on the left side of the mirror, so we know that the U is going to be negative. We know it is going to be negative. Now the focus is also on the left side of the mirror, and we know that the focal length is also going to be negative. Now image is also formed on the left side of the mirror. That means V is also going to be negative. Height is going to be positive, because height in this direction, upward direction, is positive. Now H dash will come out to be negative. Why will H dash come out to be negative? Because height in downward direction is negative. So if we want to know the height of the image, okay, we need to find the size and the nature of the image as well. So if we want to know the height of the image, we can use this formula, Hi upon H naught is equals to V by U, because we know U, now we also know V, we know H naught. We will substitute all the values and we can find the value of Hi. Hi is the height of the image. Now the height of the image has come out to be minus 14 centimeter. Now why it is minus here? Because I have told you H dash will be minus, because the image is inverted. When the image is inverted, the sign of the height is negative. Okay. Now image is also formed in front of the mirror. So that means the image is going to be real, inverted and enlarged. So this is the nature of the image. Now let's quickly do a question of convex mirror. A 5 cm tall object is placed perpendicular to the principal axis of a convex mirror of focal length 20 cm. The distance of the object from the mirror is 30 cm. Find the position, nature and size of the image formed. Okay, so let's quickly draw a diagram so that we are able to understand the question better. A 5 cm object is placed perpendicular to the principal axis of a convex mirror. So this is our object, it is of 5 cm. So our H naught is 5 cm and it is positive because the object is upright in the upward direction, is placed perpendicular to the principal axis of convex mirror, focal length 20 centimeters. So the focal length of the convex mirror is 20 centimeters. So F is 20 centimeters. Now Fy is F positive because focal length of convex mirror is always positive. Just remember that. Okay, the focal length of concave mirror is negative and of convex mirror is positive. The distance of the object from the mirror is 30 centimeters. So this distance is 30 centimeters. That means U is 30 centimeters and it is minus because distance in this directions are minus and in this direction are positive. So U is minus 30 centimeters. Okay. So we need to find the position. That means we need to find the V. Nature. Nature means it is real or virtual, erect or inverted, so on. And the size of the image means H dash. These are the things that we need to find. And to find V, we will use the mirror formula. So our mirror formula is 1 by F is equals to 1 by V plus 1 by U, and I need to find the V, so I'll keep the V on this side and I'll take the U on the opposite side. It will become this. Okay, now just substitute the values of F and U and solve it to get the answer. So the values of F are, F is 20 and U is minus 30 is equals to 1 by V. Okay, so this will become 1 by 20 plus 1 by 30, right, is equals to 1 by V. So this will be, we'll have to take the LCM, it will be 60, then 3 plus 2 is equals to 1 by V. This will come out to be 5 by 60 is equals to 1 by V. So we will take the reciprocal to find the V. So the V is going to be 60 by 5 and this will come out to be 12 centimeters. So the image distance, the distance of the image is 12 centimeters and it is positive, which means the image is virtual, which means it is formed behind the mirror. See, so the image will be formed here somewhere at 12 centimeter distance. That V is positive, which means the image is on this direction, because distance on this direction are positive, so image formed behind the mirror is virtual, and it is going to be erect because virtual images are erect, so it is going to be erect. And in case of convex mirror, if you remember, the image formed is always diminished, so it is going to be diminished. Don't worry, we will just confirm that image is going to be erect and diminished right now. So we will have to find h dash. So we want to find the h dash, and to find h dash, what we are going to do is we are going to use this relationship between h dash, h and v and u. We are going to use this relationship to find h dash, that is the height of the image. So substitute all the values. What is the height of the object? The height of the object is h naught is 5 centimeters. So h naught is 5 centimeters. And what is v? V comes out to be 12 centimeters. And what was u? U was minus 30 centimeters. Let's see, u was minus 30 centimeters, right? So this cancel. We can take 5 on that side. So this will be, so if we are going to solve this, this will come out to be 2 centimeter. So the height of the image is 2 centimeter and it is positive. When height is positive, it means it is erect, and see, it is diminished because the height of the image is 2 centimeter and the height of the object was 5 centimeter. So the size of the image has reduced. So it is diminished. So we have found everything. The position we have found to be 12 centimeters. The nature is virtual, erected, diminished, and the size of the image is 2 centimeters. So let's quickly discuss a previous year question. So I have a question of 2019. Now you're going to realize that the questions that come into exam are so easy after solving this question. And one thing you can do is you can pause the video and try to solve this question by yourself, because I'm 100% sure that you are going to solve this question by yourself, because we have practiced 2 questions of this type. And this is a very easy question. You just have to, substitute the values into the mirror formula and the magnification formula and you get the answer. So definitely pause the video and try to solve this question. Okay, so let's do it. A concave mirror has a focal length of 20 centimeters. So we are given focal length and it is a concave mirror. So the focal length has to be negative. Okay. At what distance from the mirror should a 4 centimeter tall object? So 4 centimeter tall object, we are given the height of the object, and height of object is almost always positive because it is upright, so that it forms an image at a distance of 30 centimeter from the mirror. So we are given the image distance to be 30 centimeter, but it is not given if the image is formed in front of the mirror or behind the mirror. So we can't know for sure what is going to be the sign of the image distance. What is going to be the sign of this image distance? So what we are going to do is we are going to take the V positive one time and negative the other time, and we are going to find the size of the image and the object distance for both these cases. We are going to do it for both these cases. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to take V to be positive. I'm going to take V to be positive. So when V is positive, that means the image is formed behind the mirror. So let's quickly draw the diagram. So it's a concave mirror, which means the focal F is at a distance of 20 centimeter. Center of curvature is going to be here at a distance of 40 centimeter. And the image is formed here behind the mirror at around 30 centimeters. So here at this point image is formed. Okay, so image is formed behind the mirror. In case of a concave mirror, if you remember, if the object is placed somewhere between pole and focus, so if the object is placed somewhere between pole and focus, we get image behind the mirror. So our U is going to be somewhere between 0 and 20 centimeters. So just we are going to solve this and find our U. So the formula, mirror formula is 1 by F, 1 by V by 1 by U. Substitute the values of F and U here. So it is 20 centimeters. 1 by V is going to be 30. So we can take 1 by U on one side and 30 will go on the other side and it will become minus. Okay, so solving this, it will have to take the LCM 60 minus 3 minus 2. So let's solve it here. So it's going to be minus 5 by 20, sorry, minus 5 by 60. So we'll have to take the reciprocal here because we want to find the U. So it's going to be minus 60 by 5. It's going to be 12 centimeter. So the U has come out to be 12 centimeter, minus 12 centimeter. So as I already told you that the U has to be somewhere between 0 and 20, because in that case only when the object is placed between focus and the pole, we get a virtual image, we get an image which is formed behind the mirror. Okay, and here image is formed behind the mirror because we have taken the V to be 30, positive 30, and positive means V is on this side. Okay, so the object is here somewhere at 12 centimeters. Negative means it is in front of the mirrors, obviously. So next is, what is the size of the image? So if you remember, in case of a concave mirror, we get an enlarged image. So our H dash is going to be more than 4 centimeter. H dash is going to be more than 4 centimeter. Let's see here. So we will use this formula. Okay. So H naught is given as 4 centimeters, right? And our V is 30. And our U is minus 12 centimeter, so this will cancel out. So H dash will be equal to now 30 by 12 into 4. So this is going to be 10 centimeters. So H dash has come out to be 10 centimeters and it is positive, which means the image will be in upward direction, the image will be erect. Okay. So what is the size of the image? In this case it is plus 10 centimeter. So the image is going to be here at 30 centimeter and it is going to be of 10 centimeter. Okay. So we have solved this for the case when V is 30 centimeters. Now we are going to solve it for when V is minus 30 centimeter. Okay. When V is minus 30 centimeter. So let me quickly erase this. So now V is minus 30 centimeter. So when V is minus 30 centimeter, that means, so our focal length is 20. Our center of curvature is 40 centimeters. C here, F here. So the object is in front of the mirror because it is minus here. Our image is front of the mirror because it is minus here. So the image is going to be some point here at 30 centimeter, right? So the image is going to be formed here. And if you remember, in which case the image is formed between C and F. Image is formed between C and F when the object is placed beyond C. So our u is going to come more than 40 centimeter. Let's try it. Let's try with the mirror formula. So this is our mirror formula, right? We need to find u. So it will be 1 by f minus 1 by v. So let's substitute the values, minus 20 minus, and our v is minus 30. So this is going to be minus 20 plus minus 30. So we are going to take the LCM. It's going to be 60. 3 minus 2, 1 by 60. So we are going to take the reciprocal of this, then u will come out to be 60 centimeter. So see, our object is placed at 60 centimeters and it is going to be, wait, so this is going to be minus 2 here, plus 2 here, and minus here and minus here. Okay, so u is minus 60 centimeters, that means it's going to be here somewhere. The object will be placed here somewhere at 60 centimeters. So see, the object is beyond C, and when the object is beyond C, we get image between C and F, and our image is at this point, right? So the u has come out to be minus 60 centimeter, and if you remember the image, then the image is real, is formed in front of the mirror, it is inverted. So when we are going to find h dash, it is going to be negative and it is going to be less than our h, because the image in this case will be diminished. So let's find our h dash. You will see, so this is the formula for h dash. So h dash, what is h? So h is 4 centimeters, so it is going to be minus, and v is minus 30 and u is minus 60. So here h dash is going to come out to be minus 30 by 60, because this minus will cancel, into 4, so minus 2 centimeter. So h dash is going to come minus 2 centimeters. As you can see, minus means it is going to be inverted, and 2 centimeter, the size has reduced, because firstly the size was, the object size was 4 centimeter, and now the size of the image is 2 centimeters. So the size of the image has reduced. Okay, so we have solved this question, and it was so easier. As you can see, it was so easy to solve this question, and this question has come into your board exams of 2019. So that is it for this video, as we have all the concepts that come under reflection of the mirror. Now what you have to do? Now what you have to do is you have to practice the questions. Practice makes a man or a woman practice. So practice, 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 and if you feel like there is any topic which is not 100% clear to you, so you can definitely recheck this video, definitely watch that concept which is not 100% clear to you. And one thing you can do is you can make notes of each and every topic that you study, and if by chance you are unable to make notes, you don't want to write, or there is any other issue, then there are tons and tons of notes available on the EduRev app. You can check our website and app. On the EduRev we provide mind maps, we also provide mirror formulas, formula sheets, and we also provide tons and tons of tests, so you can definitely practice a lot on EduRev. And all these things, various documents, revision notes and tests, are available on EduRev Infinity at less than 100 rupees per month. So thank you and see you in the next video.